It's the Sheriff Podcast, baby. Yeah. It's the Sheriff, AHL Man of the Year. 500 pro fights in his career. Got the record for most ice fights in the season. You fought the Sheriff, lucky you're still breathing.
Welcome everybody to an exclusive edition of the Sheriff. Boy, oh boy, do I ever have a treat for you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, about 1 month ago, I was given the opportunity to do a team mentoring session with the U16 Don Mills Flyers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, not only was it the highlight of my team mentoring season, but I was able to meet the captain of this team, and he is here today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world, I would like to introduce to you my guest tonight. He hails from Scarborough, Ontario, at 6'3", 215 pounds. He is a heavyweight. He was the tallest kid for the Scarborough Raiders in Scarborough growing up. He scored in minus 35-degree weather at the Peterborough Locks tournament to win the tournament for his team. He was the captain of the Don Mills Flyers U16 AAA team, the new age forward with size, speed, and hockey sense, the current first rounder of the Barrie Colts. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Shamar Moses, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
And you know what? I just got to put the mic down and do a little clapping here because this is called the celebration episode that we're doing, brother. And I'm just glad to be a part of it because, for one thing, I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank
and
you,
number
thank you.
two, I can't wait to hear your story.
Yeah,
so,
I'm excited.
Yes, exactly. So don't mind
sure.
me. I'm a little bit hyper, but Shamar,
It's all good.
what I like to do is I like to go to the beginning. So now, we had a couple conversations before this show, yesterday, a couple days ago. We talked a lot about Scarborough, man. So
Yeah,
we got to get into Scarborough right away. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of Scarborough guests on this show. And man, you're definitely the youngest and definitely with the most upside. So what does Scarborough mean to Shamar?
Yeah, I mean, it really means a lot to me. I mean, kind of where I started everything. I've played all my sports through Scarborough my whole life. I've never played sports anywhere else. So obviously a special place to me for that. And growing up with my mom and aunt there, it's always been a special place to me and always been home for me. And made so many friends over the years there. So it's just kind of home for me. And it's always a place where I like to be and feel comfortable and happy. And played all my sports there, like I said. So just always happy when I get to go back. And now that I moved, but still always love it there. And was so happy to be raised there. And just an amazing place to be.
Well, Shamar, one thing I could say, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I don't know, my producer is looking at you saying, you know what, this guy might be able to take over the show. He speaks so well. You know, you speak very well, man. I'm very, very intrigued by this. So now, let's stay with Scarborough a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get into the family. Now, I know it's very close-knit.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person where I believe that family is so important in the hockey journey. And,
Sure.
I'm excited to talk about it right now. So,
Yeah.
let's talk about your mom. Let's talk about Miss Jillian.
Let's do it.
I got a chance to meet her when I spoke to you on the Skype, on the Zoom call that we did.
Yeah.
And tell me about your mom. When did she get you involved in hockey, my man?
Yeah, I mean, hockey was not actually the first sport I started with. I started with kind of soccer and basketball. So we are a big hockey family. So obviously she was looking forward to transitioning me into that. So we kind of started skating when I was around 3 or 4 and started hockey when I was around 5 or 6. So she's always been amazing for me for that. So she just kind of helped me coming up, especially hockey-wise in my whole family. I mean, my aunt, Uncle Paul here as well, my Uncle Jack, my papa. So a lot of big hockey family, and everyone was looking forward to getting me involved.
Again, thank you for sharing. So
Yeah.
now you know I can't let you off that easily, right?
Yeah.
So now I do my research a little bit. So now what I was told from a little bird is that your first year in house league, you know, you wanted to play, you were excited, but in honesty, you were average, kind of.
Yeah.
Right? Your first year.
Yeah, for sure.
Then Miss Jillian apparently gets you involved in soccer. And you come back the second year, and this is from parents that were there. You come back the second year, and honestly, they said that you were the best player, that you turned into a phenom, and that they asked your mom, what did you do? Did you get him into power skating? Was he in tournaments? Like, she's like, no, I actually just got him to play soccer. So, do you remember that? Like, that's the reports that I got from the parents.
For sure. I was definitely a lot younger then, but I definitely remember getting into soccer, and for a point in my life, even when I was playing hockey, it was soccer over hockey. So, she got me into soccer, and I guess it just progressed my all-around attributes, and ended up just becoming, like you said, one of the best players on the ice. And I guess in a weird way, soccer took off my hockey game, which, doesn't usually translate, but I guess for me it was different, and I've always been a good all-around athlete, so I guess I kind of just learned some of those qualities and took it into hockey, and that's kind of how I progress it, I'd say.
So now let's stick with the soccer a little bit.
Yeah.
How long did you continue to play like competitive soccer or organized soccer?
Yeah, so I think I went till I was around 8 years old, and then I met my baseball coach, Frank Gallo. He came over one evening and came to Scarborough, my school, and we kind of worked together. And I never played a game of baseball in my life, just played catch with my mom here and there. And next thing you know, he wants me on his AAA team. So I said, all right, I'll come. And next thing you know, baseball was my second passion after hockey. So I kind of took that up. But I was playing soccer around eight or nine, probably, I'd say I stopped.
Thank you for sharing that again, my man.
Yeah.
Now, so let's stick with the timeline, Shamar. So like growing up in Scarborough, going to school. Now, speaking to you and your mom, I learned that it was only the Ice Raiders and Don Mills, right?
Yeah.
Like you were very consistent with where you played.
Yeah.
Now, school is a big part of the journey, especially when we hit AAA.
Yeah.
I want like you're a role model now, brother. You have been, but now you're on a platform. You're a first-round pick. You're the face of the organization. I couldn't think of a kid that is a better choice for an organization. I'm learning some words and stuff from you right now, so I'm learning from you too. And I'm almost 3 times your age. So Shamar, I want to talk about for the kids that are coming up.
Yeah.
How did you kind of balance the school? Like, I see mom smiling over here, and auntie and uncle. I'm going to assume that you're a good student.
Yeah, so I wasn't always a good student, and this sounds pretty cliche, but school is always really important coming up. She always harped on me over that, and sometimes I'm like, okay, whatever, school, whatever. Hockey's first, but at the end of the day, school is so important, and having that healthy balance of, school and sports is just even more important. So I kind of learned as I grow up. If you want to play in the OHL, they're not just how they used to be. It's really important to do well in school. So I kind of just learned that aspect, and finding any time you can, like on the way to the rink, on the way home from the rink, while you're waiting to get picked up. Even sometimes I'm in the locker room doing homework, just finishing stuff up. So anytime you can, just getting homework in, and it is super important. I wasn't always the best student, I'll admit that, but this year I really progressed, and now I'm an honor roll student and have all those 80s and 90s. So it's been a lot better this year, and my best advice would be just not to procrastinate, and just make sure you're getting your work done whenever you can.
So now, for the young viewers out there, 80s and 90s, honors, captain of the team, AAA schedule, that's what it takes to get the results of being a first-round selection. And Shamar, I know there was a lot of work put into this, man. We're not even going to have all the time to get into everything, but the one thing I kind of wanted to kind of magnify here was the group that you came up with Don Mills. Now, you could correct me if I'm wrong. The understanding I have is there 4 of you that started from 9 years old, pretty much?
Yeah. So there was actually the 4 of us that went through all 7 years of Don Mills together, and 3 of us that even played that. I played all years at Scarborough Ice Raiders, but 2 of the other guys actually also played 1 year of Ice Raiders with me as well. So
wow.
8 years with 3 guys, and then 7 years with 4 of the guys.
So let's plug these guys. Let's give some names here.
Yeah, so me, me, obviously, and then Jimmy Lombardi.
Jimmy Lombardi.
Jared Harding. I always grew up with those guys, and those are some of my closest friends. And then as we moved into Dom Mills, Charlie Pantalone joined our journey, and he's been amazing too. So all these guys, you kind of build your closest friends around hockey and build my relationships with over the years. So those are the 3 other guys.
And hey, so these three guys, they're probably gonna dab you up when they see you, because that was a really big shout out, man. I appreciate you doing that. That's cool to hear.
Boys.
Shout out to the boys. So now another thing, sticking with the timeline. Now, what a lot of the people don't know is that Shamar Moses was a defenseman growing up.
Yeah.
Defenseman growing up.
I was actually. I mean,
when did you switch? What year was it?
It was a COVID year, so I didn't get to even play my full first year. Actually, I didn't play any games as a forward my first year because of COVID. But I've played the last 2 years as a forward, so that would mean every other year coming up would be, I'd say, 6 or 7 years as a D-man, and then the last 2, I guess, to sum up, 8 or 9 year hockey career. So I played defense my whole life, and the last 2 years I had my coach Tony D'Annunzio. He decided to move me up, so shout out to him as well. And it's been a blessing in disguise for me. At first it was a little iffy, but you put the work in and you get the results. So now I'm here today, and I'm happy I switched.
I'm happy you switched too. I think Barrie's happy you switched. Every hockey fan is happy you swithed. So now let's just rewind a little bit. So
yeah,
there was a specific person. I just didn't hear the name. I know Spence Curtin was your head coach this year.
Yeah,
but is that who you're talking about that told you to do the switch?
No. So Spence actually wasn't pro Shamar at forward. He was more pro Shamar at D. As quite a few people were. No one really saw the vision because it wasn't quite all there. But Tony D'Annunzio, he was our head coach for three or 4 years, and him.
Let's say that name again. Tony
D'Annunzio.
There you go, Tony D'Annunzio.
So shout out to him. Yeah. So he decided to move me to forward. That was the last year as our coach, but it was as I said, a blessing in disguise, and really good for me in my hockey career, and I'm really happy I made the transition for sure.
So now, and again, thanks for sharing that, brother. So now, the way that I see it, and the way that I see most hockey minds looking at it, is that you do take face-offs, but you're a right winger. You're a power winger, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're a power winger. You have scoring ability. You have a cannon of a shot, but you have the ability of a defenseman. So, that probably accredits to why you're such a good defensive player. So now your coaches, that's what they praise you the most, is your defensive play. How do you view it? Like, do you view that you need to not just take care of the scoring, look at everything, because you're doing it, man? So what's your secret?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just instincts at a certain point. I mean, you play all those years as a defenseman, and you just know what they're seeing as a defenseman and where they want you to be, because you had those times you're like, where's my winger right now? I don't know where he's playing, so you kind of know where to be. And I wasn't the best penalty killer my first year as a forward. I don't think Spence ever really put me on the penalty kill, but as I just watched a lot of hockey and learned, and I just really learned how to play that penalty kill, and now I'm one of his top penalty killers, and he was putting me out there a lot for the penalty kill too. So learning that aspect as a hockey player is just so important to build your versatility and build your all-around game for sure. So as I said, just kind of the instinct to know where to be is kind of big for me as a defensive player.
The reason why, and thank you, the reason why I'm smiling is because Mr. Spence, he's the gentleman that oversaw you this year.
Yeah.
He speaks very highly of you. You're very important to this man.
Yeah.
Coaches that you've had recently, how do you really navigate with the assistant coaches and coaches? Do you look at them as friends? Do you look at them as mentors? How do you look at it at your age right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of say the mentor role.
Yep.
I mean, at the same time, you're still talking to them, and you're talking about your social life as well here and there. But for the most part, it's within the hockey business. So I would say more of a mentor role, because they're kind of guiding you within, where you want to play next year, or how you want to build your game, or what you want to do to even be a better person. So a lot of those things I say fall under their mentorship role. So I definitely say that, especially for Spence.
Very, very good answer, man. And I'll tell you why I asked you that. So now, Mr. Spence Curtin has been around for a long time, and I'm not trying to make you look old, Spence. He was a coach for Don Mills when I played for Don Mills.
Yeah.
And I was in a younger age group. And there was a time when my mom asked Mr. Curtin to speak to me. Yeah. And he pulled me aside. He spoke to me. It was right at the right time when I was going through some things personally. And he pretty much made me believe that I was good enough and that I was worthy and that I deserved it. And yeah. I'll never be able to forget that. And I'll thank Spence forever for doing that. And I just wanted to see what you were going to say, because I looked at him as such a big mentor, and I'm just so glad that he was your coach this year.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I mean, it was amazing for me and all the guys. He was just really good for all of us the whole year, and Coach Dave Cicchini as well, and Coach Mark as well. So just all those guys are just really good for us, and helped us build those relations in hockey, and just friends forever. I mean, with all the boys, and these coaches will know forever and remember forever as you did, and we were really happy to have him as well. So,
and you guys had a good year, and
yeah, pretty good year.
I want to talk a little bit about when I came in to see you guys with the team mentoring session. The first thing I realized was how big you guys are. You guys were a really big team. You guys felt like a really close-knit group.
Yeah,
it looked like you guys were anyway. I want to talk about this season because this was your draft year. So
yeah,
I want to tie it in. Yes. I want to tie it into the family as well, because you get a lot of attention during the draft year. There's pressure, there's rumors, there's people telling you things.
Yeah.
The last couple months, brother, must have been really wild. Like.
Yeah. I mean, it is really all over the place, as people say. I mean, you kind of got to block out the noise, as cliche as that sounds as well, but. It really is true. I mean, there's so much stuff that I heard that just wasn't even relevant to what was happening and relevant to what was even true. And people are going to tell you a lot of things. I mean, there'll be good things that they'll tell you that aren't true, and there'll be bad things they'll tell you that aren't true. So you kind of just got to play your game and know what you're capable of, and believing in yourself is just as important for sure as well. So playing hard your draft year, and not playing too selfish as well. I mean, hopefully you're at a team where you like all your teammates like I did, and I loved all my boys to death, and played for them every night, and they played for me. So you kind of got to play for your team as well, and not play too selfish, because they'll see that as well. So just kind of knowing what your game is and play your game and just do what you do best.
I absolutely love it, man. I absolutely love it. Like I'm going to have to give you a call and have some good conversations with you, man, because you're almost like a 25, 30-year-old adult. So, you know, credit to your family, which we're going to talk about right now. So leading up to the draft, I want to talk about like the different components of when you talk to your family, they know that you're rated in the first round. Is there fears that you may have dropped to the second round? You have all these people that are like counting on you. They're counting on Shamar to be the star. They're counting on you to do this. It's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
You handle it very well. You're very humble. These are the things that you need to continue to work on, because
for sure,
you are on a path, brother, to make it all the way to the top. I'm very excited to know you right now. Yeah. I'm going to try to help you any way that I can. You're helping me because you inspire me. So now, what also inspires me is the family aspect. I want to talk about draft day. Okay, so draft day.
Yeah.
How did you guys do it? I know now it's an online draft.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you describe draft day 2023.
Wow. I mean, it was definitely the craziest day of my life, and craziest hockey moment of my life. I mean, I had so many family and friends come in, so it was a crazy moment, and I was lucky enough I got the call just before the pick was announced, and when my family kind of found out, it was crazy. I mean, they said they've never heard a louder room in their life. It was screaming, it was crying, it was everything. It was the best moment of my life, and just to see how many people in my family and my friends were so proud of me, it was just such an amazing feeling. And I looked over at my mom, and she was the first person I hugged, and it just felt so good. I can't even describe, to be honest, what the feeling was, and I'm reliving it in my head again. And even getting goosebumps thinking about it. It was
so am I, man.
it was so special, and seeing your name on that screen and hearing them talk about you and announce your name is just another special feeling as well. So everything about draft day was so amazing, and to see all your boys as well that you grew up with and how much they've progressed, and they're sharing this next chapter with you as well. They might be on other teams, but you're kind of taking the same path, and it's just was an amazing day, and I'll never forget it.
Man, I want to thank you for saying it the way you did,
Yeah.
being so insightful, because I just absolutely love it. It gave me a lot of goosebumps. I appreciate that story.
Yeah.
I'm sure the viewers do too. So now you mentioned that you gave your mother a hug right away. What was it like the following afterwards? Like, did your boys put you in headlocks? Did you get beat up a little bit?
Yeah.
Was it mostly like, was there,
So-
I'm an emotional guy. I cry. Was there crying sessions?
Yeah, I'll admit it. I mean, I did shed a few tears. It was just, I was so proud of myself, to be honest. It was one of those moments where you're like, you haven't fully made it yet, but it's a step in the right direction, and it's a really big step, to leave it at that. But yeah, it was hugs all around the room, and my Uncle Jack, he's one of my super fans, and my aunt and all my family. My Uncle Paul is here as well. So just all the super fans of my family, and my grandpa wasn't able to make it, but I got the call from him, and he was crying, he was breaking down, and it was just, it was happy tears though. It was proud tears. So it wasn't. It was just so special for me, and I went to go see my boys a bit later, and one of my friends, shout out to Max Anderson as well, he was drafted in the same day later, so I was so happy to get to see his name called as well, and I'm so proud of him, and so proud of all my boys who were drafted, and even my boys who weren't drafted. I mean, they're all such hard workers, and I know they're going to persevere and take the next steps they need to, so that's kind of how that day was. Dude,
that's amazing. I gotta shake your hand, because that's amazing that you shared that.
Thank you.
Now, before I get into the team, I'm such a family person here. So the way that I look at drafts, this is the way I look at the NHL draft. So 100% even more the OHL draft.
Yeah.
The way I look at the OHL draft is that it's a family accomplishment. If you think about it, you've done everything with hockey with your family through and through to this point. And the way that I look at it is that really the league is pretty much saying to your family, look, we're selecting your son. We're going to give him an opportunity to go to the next level. We want to recognize you guys for all the blood, sweat, and tears, right?
Yeah.
All the early morning practices, right? All the taking time off work, the tournament, Shamar. Like, there was just the evenings. Like, it's incredible. And we're not even talking about money, like loans and this and pretending that you have stuff when you don't. And there's so much to mention, brother. Like, and like some of the viewers probably don't even know what we're talking about, but the hockey people do. And I attest to your family being, I want to give them credit for this first round selection, because it's a family accomplishment.
It is.
So,
it is.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
No,
I'm
for sure. What you said, everything is so true. I mean, I've never seen a harder worker in my life than my mother. I mean, she even outworks me in every aspect, and she's just such an amazing person and role model for me. And my aunt as well. She's such a hard worker as well, and getting to live with her for a few years and seeing how hard she works. And my Uncle Paul also has helped me out since I was a baby and taking care of me and my mom and my whole family. So just my whole family is so supportive, and they've done everything in the world possible in their hands that they could do for me. And it's just taking me to the next level, and I'm so thankful and grateful for all of them. And they deserve the selection just as much as I do. And I'm so proud of them to say that as well. I mean, because of how hard they've worked and how hard I've worked and how everything's just kind of folded out how I've wanted it to.
I gotta start the applause. I was holding off, but I got it.
Yeah, I'll give it a little table tap for that.
Woo! Okay, so now that's amazing. Was there 10 players that were drafted on your team?
I think it was 9, yeah.
It was 9.
Yeah.
So you're the captain of the U16 Don Mills Flyers team that just finished. You guys had 9 players drafted to the OHL.
Yeah.
You led the way being the first rounder, as the captain should, right? You lead the ship, right?
Yeah.
I want to give credit to Spence, his assistant coaches, Gus Stathopoulos, everybody in the Don Mills organization. I'm really sorry, guys, if I'm not dropping your name, but this to me was an incredible feat. 9 players drafted to the OHL, 1 team, Shamar's team. He was the captain, he led the ship. And brother, I think that a lot of stuff rubbed off on your teammates. I think that your leadership really spread around the room. That's really the feel that I got when I did the session with your team. And I just want to congratulate you, man. And I want to tell you that the sky's the limit, that I love the fact that you're going to Barrie. I love the fact it's not too far, it's not too close, it's perfect. Great organization. And Shamar, honestly, best of luck. We're over the limit, but we had to do it because, man, this was so important. Yeah. And I want to congratulate you, brother. And
thank you.
I just want to know, like, you know, this is your show. Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I mean,
as I put you on the spot.
Yeah. Once again, just so thankful for all my family, and again, it's a draft celebration, so proud of all my boys again. And as you said, I was a leader in that room, but I mean, all the boys played their part and did as much as they could for themselves and for the team as well. There was no selfish guys in that room, and that's really what created all of our success. And truly, if you don't play for yourself and you play for each other, you'll just look so much better, and everyone will look better as a group. As Coach Spence harped on us the whole year about that, and I'm just so thankful for him and the coaching staff, and as you said, all of Don Mills' organization. They fought for me for years now, and from moving and all that stuff and all that noise, they've protected me from that and fought for me for that. So I'm so thankful for that. And again, my boys who weren't drafted, they know they're going to work so hard, and they're all motivated and self-motivated. They don't need me to tell them that, but I'm going to tell them that because I'm proud of you boys too, and you guys have all worked so hard. So once again, thanks to my family, thanks to Don Mills, thanks to my boys, and just super happy to do this with you.
I don't think I could have said it any better, brother. So before we go, I just want to do this. Yeah. Congratulations, Shamar Moses, first round to the Barrie Colts. Woo! I want to thank all the listeners for tuning in to another episode of The Sheriff. We'll see you next time, guys. Woo!